Progress.
So I've gone ahead and decided to make one last video that goes over the worksheet of solving polynomial equations. So I gave y'all this on like handwritten where I've worked them out, but I'm going to go ahead and make a video that kind of shows you the process too, because I know I try to keep myself neat. It doesn't work out. So the number one was 3x squared minus 27x plus 42 equals 0. Okay, so first we've got to factor the quadratic trinomial. The 3 is pretty easy because it's prime number. So we know that the first term, the variable term, we're going to have a 3x and we're going to have an x because that's how we get our 3x squared. What we have to look at is we have to look at the 42 factors. Okay, so we know that that's 7 times 6. Then we have 3, I want to say like 3 times 14, and then 2 times 21, but that's probably going to get like not even be remotely useful because that's crazy. But we need to find something that gives us negative 27 when added together. So one of these two numbers has to be multiplied times 3, and the other one's multiplied times 1. Okay, we'll try that again. All right, so 27. And also 42 is positive, but 27 is negative. So I know that my factors are going to be like a negative times a negative because they've got to give me a positive 42. But when I add them together, I've got to end up with a negative 27. Okay, so I know that, let's see, 7. Okay, so 7 times 3 is 21. I think it's this first one. It usually is. 7 times 3 is 21, and 21 plus 6 is 27. So I think that's what I need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in, let's test it. So this is your trial and error, which I know drives some of you crazy. But so I know I've got to multiply the 3 times the 7. So that means that this is 3x minus 6 times x minus 7. So that way I multiply, because then I'm just going to look at the terms that would make my middle term. So this is a negative 21x plus a negative 6x, and yet that would work. So that gives me negative 27x, which matches my middle term. So that is how I know that my two binomial, my factored answer is 3x minus 6 times x minus 7. All right, so once I have that, that's what I needed. Now we can get into actually solving, which is kind of the easy part. And so we take our first binomial, 3x minus 6. So first factor equals 0, second factor equals 0, and then we just solve. So this is plus 6, so we get 3x equals 6 divided by 3. X equals 2, so there's 1, and this one, again, the easy one, so x equals 7. So there's my final answer, 2 and 7. That's how we give our answer. Okay. Number 2, 25x squared minus 4 equals 0. So this is a difference of squares. Because 25 is a perfect square, 4 is a perfect square, and we're finding the difference between the two. So we know that the difference of squares, a squared minus b squared, equals the product of conjugates, which is a plus b times a minus b. So all we have to do is define a and b, which can be tricky, right? Because this is a squared. 25 is a squared. So we have to think what times itself equals 25. So a is 5x and b is 2. So be careful. 25 is not a, that's a squared. So when we rewrite that with our product, let's see here, our product of conjugates, we have a plus b, so 5x plus 2 times 5x minus 2. Now, what this means is for our solution, we're going to end up with 2/5 and negative 2/5. But let me show you where that comes from. So 5x plus 2 equals 0. That'll be our negative. 5x minus 2 equals equals 0. So we subtract 2 first, and we get 5x equals -2 divided by 5. So x equals -2/5. And add 2. 2 divided by 5. X equals 2/5. So there's our -2/5 and our 2/5. 4x squared plus 20x plus 25 equals 0. All right, so this one we are looking at a perfect square trinomial. 4 is a perfect square, 25 is a perfect square. So we know that if we have a perfect square trinomial, that actually equals a plus b squared. So again, this is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, perfect square trinomial. So that equals a plus b. So again, the 4 is the a squared. So that means that a equals 2x and b equals 5. So we can write that as 2x plus 5 squared. Now, once you have this, you actually only have to solve one. There's only one value for x, and that's the 2x plus 5. Because even if you split this into 2x plus 5 times 2x plus 5, you're still doing the same equation twice. So why bother? The answer is going to be the same. So this is 2x equals -5 divided by 2. And x equals -5/2. And that's your solution. All right. Number 4. I'm going to skip some of them because we haven't gotten to the complex numbers yet. X squared minus 16x plus 48 equals 0. So this one we don't have to worry about the coefficient of the x squared. It's 1. So we just need to look at the factors of 48 that when added together equal -16. So because we have a positive 48 and a -16, we're going to look at two negatives that added together equal 16. So I know, let's see, what is it? We've got, I know -6 times -8, but when you add those together, you get 14. And then there is, what else? We've got, my brain just kind of melted. Got -4 times, oh, there, that's it. -4 times -12 is positive 48, and -4 plus 12. So -4 plus -12 gives me -16. So that's the one that I'm looking for. Okay, so those are the factors that I want. So that's pretty much, we're done. We have x minus 4 and x minus 12. So when we solve these, hopefully, go ahead and do the work. But x equals 4, x equals 12. So 4 and 12 are our solution. All right. 5, 3y squared plus 4y minus 4 equals 0. Okay, so we know with the 3y squared, we're going to end up with a 3y in one and a y in the other. So we've got to look at the factors of 4. We know that, and it's negative. So we have a 1 times 4, and then we have a 2 times 2. All right, and I need to get a positive 4 in my middle term. So what I'm thinking is what I'm probably going to do is that I'm probably going to use the 2 times 2 because, so let's test it. If I have 3y, let's see, minus 2, because I need the 3 times 2 to be positive, times y times plus 2, then this gives me a positive 6y, and this gives me a negative 2y, and that does equal a positive 4y. And negative 2 times 2 gives me negative 4. So there's my solution, my factor. So 3y minus 2 times y plus 2 All right, so let's go ahead and separate it out then. 3y minus 2 equals 0, y plus 2 equals 0. Just solve the linear equation. Y equals 2/3, and that's a subtraction. So, and y equals -2. So -2 and a positive 2/3 is our answer. Number 6. So we have 5x squared plus 14x equals 24. All right, so we've got to rewrite this as a quadratic trinomial. So we're going to move that 24 over, and we end up with 5x squared plus 14x minus 24. Okay, so I have a -24. Okay, but I've also got that 5. Okay, so let's look at what we've got to do here. We know 5 is prime, so we're just going to have a 5x and an x. So we don't have to worry about more than one of those. Now we have to look at the factors of, so we have -24, but I'm probably going to have 5 times something that gives me a positive number. So, okay, let's see here. So I know with 24, we could have 4 times negative, wait, would that work? Wait a minute, 5 times 4 is 20, and 20, if that was positive, 20 minus 6 is 14. So I think that's it. Y'all can see why I don't start at like the first factor, like 1 times the number and then go down. I always start at like at the middle because it's usually not always. That's a good place to start because I can figure it out. Okay, so let's test this and see what we have. So if I had, so that means I have to have a 5 times the 4. So I'm going to have 5x minus 6 times x plus 4 because these get multiplied and these do. So that's 20x minus 6x, which gives me a positive 14. Okay, so that's it. And then 4 times -6 is -24. So that works. All right, and we're done. All right, so let me go and fill that in then. 5x minus 6 times x plus 4. And now we solve 5x minus 6 equals 0, x plus 4 equals 0. I'm going to do the easy one first. X equals -4. This one, 6 to both sides. 5x equals 6. X equals 6/5. We're just going to leave it that way. We're done. All right, number 7. Number 7, we have something similar. It's sort of split with by that equal sign. So I have 10x squared plus 3 equals 17x. So I'm going to move that over to the left side, and I get 10x squared minus 17x plus 3. Okay, so this one also should, I feel like I'm going to probably use the 10. Let me see here. So plus, I don't know. Okay, so let's go ahead and just figure this out. So we have, if we have 2 options for that first factor. We have 10x, or the first term, 10x and then x. That gives us our 10x squared. Or 5x and 2x. Right, now the 3 is a little bit easier. The factors of 3, 1 and 3, and or it's -1 times -3. Maybe that's it. So if I did 10, I think I'm going to use 5. So 5 times 3 is 15. And 2 times 1, oh, I bet that's it. Okay, because 15, okay, so 15 plus 2 gives me -17 if they're both negative, which they should be. So I think we're going to use the -1, -3. That means I need to multiply the 5 times 3. That gives me 15. And the 2 times the 1. All right, let's test it. This guy, this guy. So 5 times -3, that's -15x minus 2. Yep, that's it. That gives me a -17x. And then a 1 times negative gives me a positive. So that's it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and write it underneath here. So that means that I am using the 5x minus 1 times 2x minus 3. Now go ahead and write that linear equations. 1, 5x equals 1 divided by 5. So x equals 1/5. Not doing this too fast. I'm making a careless error with my math. Coffee yet? Okay, so 1/5 and 3/2 is our solutions. Number 7, 1/5, 3/2. Yep, that's what I got last time. Okay, number 9. We skipped number 8 because we're not fooling with complex numbers yet. 7x minus 3 equals 2x squared. I like to keep my first term positive, so I'm actually going to move these guys over. And we end up with 0 equals 2x squared minus 7x plus 3. Okay, so now we have we have 2x times x, and then 3 is just 3 times 1. But we have a negative middle term, so we're definitely going to be working with a -3 and -1. Okay, it needs to equal 7. So 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7, so I bet that's it. So 2x minus 1, x minus 3. Let me just test myself here. 2x times -3 is -6x minus x equals -7. So there we go. So let me just rewrite that over here. 2x minus 1 times x minus 3. Write that as our two linear equations plus 1. X equals 1/2 and x equals 3. So 1/2 and 3. 11, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Trying to do this before y'all leave because, you know, last minute. 6x squared minus 27x equals 15. Well, obviously, we've got to move that 15 over. So we end up with 6x squared minus 27x minus 15. All right, so this one, we've got options here. We've got 6x times x, that gives us 6x squared, or we've got 2x times 3x, and then 15, we have, it's -15 as well, so we have the factors of 1 times 15, or we have 3 times 5. All right, and we need our middle term to equal -27. So, okay, -27. And only one of your terms can be negative. So I tried, let me think here. Okay, so I know that 6 times 5 is 30. And 30 minus 3 is 27. Okay, so if my 3 were positive and my 5 were negative, that would give me a -30 plus a +3, which would give me, I think this will work. Let's go ahead and do our trial. 6x plus 3 times x minus 5. Negative, no. 30x plus 3x equals -27. So there it is. All right, let me go write it all together here. So this means that my factor is 6x plus 3 times x minus 5. Wait, I've already tested that. Let's write it as two equations. I subtract 3, I get 6x equals -3 divided by 6, and x equals -1/2. And this is the easy one, we just add 5, and x equals 5. All right, so -1/2 and 5. Make sure that's actually right, -1/2, 5. Yep. All right. You'd think I'd do that before I did this, but no. 12, we have x times x plus 35 equals negative 66. So we've got two different steps here. We need to factor or distribute that x back inside the parentheses and then move this 66 over. I'm going to do that. Like, oh, that was lovely. All right, x times x is x squared, x plus 35, x plus 66 equals 0. All right, so the news is we have no coefficient for x, so we don't have to figure that out. Let's see, 66, that's like 6 and 11. It's 2, I bet this is it, 2 and 33, because 33 plus 2 equals 35. That's it. All right, so it's x plus 2 and x plus 33. Because 33 plus 2 is 5. Okay, so this one's super easy. The hardest part is just getting it rewritten correctly. So x equals negative 2, and x is going to equal negative 33. We're done. Negative 33, negative 2. Okay. 15. 6x squared plus 13x equals 15. All right, so we just moved this 15 over, and we get 6x squared plus 13x minus 15 equals 0. All right, so again, we're back to two possible factors for our first, not factors, well, 2x, 3x. All right, and then 15, this feels familiar. We have, and it's negative, so one of these is negative. We'll keep that in mind. We have 1 and 15, or we have 3 and 5. All right, and we need a positive 13. So our bigger number is going to be the positive one. So let's see, positive 13. I wonder if that's 6. So 6 times 3 is 18. Minus 5 is 13. So I bet that's it. Okay, so that means that my 5 is negative, my 3 is positive. So let's try this. Let me see if that one, double check that one works. Trial and error, 6x minus 5, x plus 3. I know that's going to give me my 6x squared, and my negative 15 is my first and last terms. All right, I think this will work. So that's an 18x minus a 5x, which gives me a positive 13x, which is what I have as my b term. So there it is. Okay. 6x minus 5 times x plus 3. It's like I have it written down on paper and I just refuse to check it. I keep forgetting. I think when I did this on the paper, I went through like 1, 2, 3, 4 different trials. But anyway, so you have both options. I just figure, especially for some of you, like hearing my thought process of how I figured this out may help you factor these trinomials more than just looking at it on paper. Okay, so now the easy part. We've got 6x minus 5 equals 0, x plus 3 equals 0, and 6x equals 5 divided by 6, and x equals 5, 6. Subtract 3, and x equals negative 3. So negative 3 and 5, 6 are our answers. Okay, last one. 16, I have x times x minus 2 equals 48. All right, so again, with this one, I've got to both distribute and move that 48 over. So distribute that x, and I get x squared minus 2x minus 48. Oh goodness, okay, so we're definitely, okay, so factors of 48, I know, and it's negative, so I know I've got I'm gonna go with 6 and negative 8. So 6 times negative 8 is negative 48, and then 6 plus negative 8 is negative 2, which is my B, so that's it. All right, so we have x plus 6 times x minus 8, which means that my solutions are -6 and 8, but let's do the work. All right, plus 6. And add 8. Wait, I had to subtract this. And we're done. Your Pastor Mike in the hallway. All right, and that's it. Okay, last video. And good luck, guys. See you later.